Hey guys, it's TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review. This is going to be of the Star Wars The Black Series, the Book of Boba Fett version of Boba Fett, of course, the Throne Room version, as it's called on the box. I am extremely late to this review. Yes, I know. It's been out for many months. I finally recently got it during the Black Friday Cyber Monday sale. The packaging I got, which it was listed on Amazon as damaged packaging, but I got one for like 12 bucks, I think, with that damaged packaging, and then the figure was supposed to be fine. I don't even have the packaging anymore. It was that destroyed, and I forgot to take an image of it, but it was like one of the most destroyed packagings I've ever received for a figure. But hey, 12 bucks for this, not bad at all. Here's the thing though, is if I paid the 30 to 33 bucks that it was originally charging, Hasbro was originally charging, I think I'd be a little pissed off because I don't think it's got off a figure, but there are things about it that are not perfect, I don't think. After playing around with it a little bit, I have a few problems already. And some things about this figure that was just, even in the promotional shots, I was like, oh, this is going to be rough, but I'm going to pick it up just to have for the rest of my Disney Plus figure collections that I have, like a Mandalorian and other Book of Boba Fett character there. So, yeah, let's go ahead and just jump right into the accessory portion. This figure does come with a pretty good amount of stuff. Then we'll take a close look at the figure. So the new Boba Fett does come with a decent amount of accessories. Does it make it worth 30 bucks? Debatable. 12 to 15 bucks? I definitely think so. Even like in the $20 range. So the viewfinder, first of all, pops down like a lot of the previous... Well, actually, some of those didn't have a viewfinder. But the Return of the Jedi version of Boba Fett, that does pop down. And we have that popping down here. Pretty decent black paint on there. Nice indented, the ding there. This looks like it's supposed to be like sculpted in there. There's a little black speck. I don't remember there being one in there. But, hey, what do I know? We do have some silver on the red here. It's very minimal, but they did add some on here. There's a lot more of a cleaned up helmet compared to when he got it back in Mandalorian Season 2. The brighter green is molded on here really nicely. A little bit of that green is bleeding through on the red, unfortunately, but the black visor piece is done really nice. A little bit of gray around the front here. The yellowish looking whatever going on here looks good. Pretty decent red and dark green contrasting here. And we do have a little bit of like a dirt speck on there. How does this look on the head? Well, make sure you pop it on there as best you can, because if you don't, originally I was like, uh-oh, that's ugly. Push it down a little bit more, and it actually looks like it might look a little big, but it does kind of look like it should fit on there, and it covers the head all the way. That scarf also helps with that too, so all that is pretty decent. We also have the jetpack. We love to see it. We have this pretty nice color for the green here. It's just molded in this green, but it still looks good. And we have a little bit of some silver paint there, some scuffs, a little bit of silver, and some gold too around here. Red is actually painted on there nicely too. Pretty decent paint on this yellow parts on top of whatever these would be. Thrusters looking pretty good too. We have some smaller ports there, so I don't have them on me, but different flame effects from, I think, the Return to Jedi Boba Fett, and even like the Dark Trooper recently. Those will work on here. The rocket piece looking pretty good. That's what the inside looks like. You get the back. Right there's a plane going overhead right now. You might be able to hear that. Pop that on there, and it fits on there usually pretty well. It's a little bit off-centered, but those notches on the back should help with that, unless the notches there are also off-centered, which that would make things awkward, wouldn't it? And I just mentioned it fits on there pretty nice, yet one little bump and I got that off. EE3, we get these a lot. This looks like a brand new sculpt for it, though. This actually looks really sick. Now, I do wish that we had some decent silver paint, like in the gray here. Like right here, like on the butt of the rifle, or the stock, I should say. That on here would have looked nicer, or even a little bit better, like actual glossy black paint would have been fine too. I think the sculpting is good. I just wish it looked a little bit better with the actual like paint detailing. The scope's nice, barrel's nicely sculpted though, and then the brown on the stock of the rifle is looking pretty decent too. No weapon storage for that, but what we do have weapon storage for is the blaster pistol. Kind of a similar thing with the EE3, I wish it had actual like silver on here, but I think there might be a little bit of like glittery plastic in there to try to make it look a little bit more metallic. So they kind of tried there, but me with painting, you know, these figures would look just so much better with a lot more paint. We do have some paint in the brown on the handle though. I do dig this overall design. Again, I don't really remember what it's called, but we have the holster here. Fit that right on there. Should fit in there. I just bent my fingernail. And it's a little bit of a snug fit, trying to get it in there, but pops in pretty nicely. Popping it out might also be a little snug. There we go. By the way, this actually pops off here. That's kind of cool if you have a separate piece to go with that. Also, the more I post this around, the more it's really hard to do two-handed gun poses, and the helmet really wants to shift up a lot. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to bring up was my problem that I said earlier that's on pretty much every figure. So looking at these markings around a face where there are these highlights, I'm going to try to fit in a promotional image of the figure. You know, originally I was like, yo, these are really bad paint marks. Did I get a defect? No, they've kind of always had these weird highlights around there. I really don't remember this being in Book of Boba Fett at all. Maybe in like Mandalorian Season 2, which I guess they were going off of for a while for this particular look, but it's really not that bad in Book of Boba. So I can't blame them for that, design choice, because it's how it looked at one point. I can blame them for kind of committing to it, because I just don't think it looks all that great. I'm gonna do another side-by-side image really quick, see if this looks like Tamara Morrison. I think it kind of does. I think like the eyes might be a little bit too separated on the figure. Every other feature, like the mouth and nose, I think is looking pretty decent. So they did paint the scars on there, which even with me turning down the brightness, it's still a little hard to see these scars around the face. I don't know if these highlights are helping at all. They might actually be making it worse. Pretty nice. I wouldn't say Widow's Peak, I guess, but wrinkle on the face. Widow's Peak is the hairstyle. He's bald. What the hell am I talking about? Digital printing on the face is actually not that bad. Sometimes it looks a little too glossy. I think in the camera here it can look a little bit like that, but in person it's actually not that bad to me. I think if you hit it with a matte coat though, like some people do, it will be even better. Pretty decent ear sculpting. A little bit of like wrinkles in the like curvature around the head and neck and all that. And then the top of the head, all that looking pretty decent. So the overall head sculpt is pretty good. Pretty decent sculpt in the molded black. It's not really a scarf, but this piece right here. And they did paint on the green. It's a little bit sloppy up here. The rest of it doesn't look too bad. There might be a little bit of a splotch here. They did sculpt some buckles there. The sculpt could look a little bit soft because of the paint just super applied here. And it looks like there's like a little bit of separations. Like, they did like one coat of paint around here, and then they just started dabbing more and more and more. You see that? How it's like all circled right there? So, it's kind of weird looking to me, at least. The markings on the front of the armor, I think could be a little bit better here, but other than that, it still looks really good, so there's really no complaints there. Nice silver and red mixed in there too. I think whatever, like a bronze almost type of metallic paint used in there, looking pretty decent as well. And then there's that marking right there. I think that might be... the dent, I don't think is a defect. The black dent might be. Like the green, the very big green dent, I don't think is it's a defect. A lot of this is just molded in this plastic at this point, though. We have like these molded plastic. They're actually not that soft, but these actually they're harder plastic. These yellow shoulder pads. I don't know why I couldn't say that. And then we have, I forget exactly what this insignia is supposed to be, like the creature. But that looks really good. We have the rocket launcher here with the nice gauntlet looking great, like always. A little bit of like a maroon finish on the fingers. Then we have this side here. This, gauntlet looking really nice too. The back of the hand's looking really good. There's that. If I have to look at the back of the hand here. Pretty good wrinkles. there's something weird where this is like a dark, like a little bit of a lighter brown compared to the rest, like almost a blackish brown here. There's definitely too apparent of a separation where the joint mixes in with the rest of the arm, but they did sculpt that, so that's cool. And then these tubes are a nightmare. You're definitely going to want to turn the gauntlet around a little bit to bend that. It may not be super accurate, but you can maybe turn it like that. But yeah, you're going to stretch that. These are soft plastic pieces, and I kind of wish they honestly just didn't do them, because I'm afraid I'm just going to break them. It's going to look bad. Pretty good gold on the buckle there, and pretty decent paint, and a little bit of like some leather sculpting on the red pockets. Looking a little bit chewed up here. The rest of this looks good. The brown on here is also looking nice. The actual detailing to make this look like leather on the holster is looking really great too. And we have the soft plastic cloth piece. It has a little bit of rips here. And a little bit, I don't know, I might need to get that off. It looks like a green speck. I don't know if that's stuck in there. That's weird. I'll get that off later. I'll try to at least. It's what the Boba butt looks like there. I don't know why I'm so weird. Anyway, we do have the, I think they have a little bit of like leather detailed around the strap of the leg here too. And these things, I understand why they're not a softer, plastic. There is no soft goods on here where there should be. I don't really think the sculpting is bad. I don't think it's great either. I know it's supposed to be a little baggy, but because of that, it can make getting this into certain poses kind of weird. Because look at how weird that separation looks with that hard plastic there. These look really big and bulky. These knee bends. Again, they're supposed to, you do it like that. It will fit with the actual flow look there. These knee pieces are stuck there. And they're not actually on the knees. They're actually more like on the shins. I think they were on the knees. No, I think they might have been on the shins too. I don't really remember, but I don't know. Something's kind of off with the legs. What I like is the boots, the actual like boots here where the gray is. It's like almost like bluish gray here. Has a little bit of detailing in there. Bend this knee too, so you can see that knee. What is we now know is a knee rocket launcher, which is kind of cool. A little bit of an indent there. This boot also looks pretty good. Some nice gray paint. Actually, I think it's painted in that like bluish gray here, and then it's an actual gray there. With the nice lines sculpted on top of the feet. And that's what the bottom of the feet look like. Good sculpting in certain areas, like the arms and the chest. And I forgot to mention, these little shoulder pieces going all the way around there. Looking pretty good. Legs might look a little bit blocky. I know that's kind of how the design calls for it, but I wish they were done just a little bit better. Articulation. We do have this ball peg system. I do think there is articulation in the lower neck going into the torso, but this whole neck piece does get in the way a little bit. It does have a bit of a tilt to it. The up, it's not as bad as I thought. It could be a little bit better. Down, it could also be better, but the swiveling is fine, and then you again have the neck pivot there. I do think there's supposed to be a butterfly. Yeah, I can kind of see it, but it's a little bit hard because there's a whole soft plastic piece here. Kind of gets in the way a little bit, and then these shoulder pads get in the way too. The arms do go all the way around, even though this soft plastic piece kind of gets in the way. You can still make it move. There would be, I'll do it on this one. The right arm would have this, but there's a whole rotation here, and then a single joint elbow. That gets a little bit over 90. I think it might actually be right at 90 on the right arm, which is a little weird. Both gauntlets do rotate on their own. So we have an in and out hinge here, and then I believe an up and down hinge on this one, but both either way are going to swivel too. Ball jointed waist goes all the way around, side to side. The right movement there gets a little bit snagged. I don't know why. Pushing it forward, that's as forward as it wants to go. Is it starting to separate at the waist? I actually don't know. I don't think so. Back is okay. We do have legs. This thing gets in the way a little bit. So I'm going to use this because this also kind of gets in the way too. T-joint legs go out that forward. That far. So that's not great. He's not the most agile, but in some of those scenes he kind of was. Upper thigh swivel here. We have a single joint knee that bends a little bit over. And it would get a full rotation at the knee, except, the way that this is sculpted gets in the way. And I think the knee rotation is redundant. I like the boot swivel though. That's nice. The up on the ankle could be better, and the down is pretty good, but then we do have ankle rockers. Quick size comparisons. Over on the right, we have the Beskar Mandalorian, and over on the left, we have the Fennec Shan, both from Black Series. You can see that I think Boba and Mando are about the same height. Maybe Mando might be a little bit tall, but you can see that Boba is definitely much taller than Fennec. Really quick overall thoughts. Is this figure amazing? I don't think so. Is it god-awful? Definitely not. I don't really like all those weird paint apps on the markings on the face, but the actual head sculpt is still pretty decent. The accessories are pretty nice, except for the weapons where I think there should be metallic paint. The overall sculpting of all these pieces is still really nice, though. The sculpting, for the most part, on the overall figure is pretty decent. And the paint work that they have on, like, the chest and, like, the belt, all that's pretty good. I know they did as best as they could with the big legs and how that's supposed to be sculpted. I still don't think it's all that great, unfortunately. I like how they did the boots, and the separate boot swivel there is pretty nice. I don't think I would love this figure very much if I paid 30 to 33 bucks. 12 to 15 bucks I definitely think is a good price, and I believe it's pretty cheap, at least right now as I'm making this video, at Target if you wanted to pick one up. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.